3000.
What is doing? My name's Maloney. This is the 3000 podcast. I'm joined today by the youngest guest we've ever had on this show. This kid is not even 20 years old. Cooper Wilson, thanks for coming, man.
Oh, all good.
The youngest dude we've had.
Yeah.
You've been in the BMX scene for a minute, man. So it's going to be interesting, and it's a new area that I'm finding out a lot about. So I'm keen to learn, man. How did you get involved in this world of BMX in Melbourne?
Well, I started in Queensland. 'Cause I was born in Queensland, but my dad started racing BMX with his mate, and I picked that up, started doing that. Did it for like 2 years. I was just like 8 or maybe even younger. Yeah, I just started doing that. I did all right. Came, I don't know, 5th in Queensland when I was like 7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did all right. And then I changed it up because I didn't want to do it anymore. It was too, I don't know, the parents were too cliquey. You know, it was too
competitive.
Yeah, too competitive. The parents were more competitive than the kids.
Which happens in a lot of sports, man.
Yeah. But I started going over to the skate park. Yeah, I was just riding the skate park more than I was riding the racetrack, and then just started doing that.
So your dad was doing this on a social level, on a professional level?
Nah, he was just having fun.
He was having fun?
Yeah, he was having fun, yeah. He hurt himself quite a few times. But
people have some mad spills on that stuff, dude.
Yeah, he was very clumsy. He had all the speed from road bikes, but he had no skill whatsoever. But he was fast.
Is he going to hate you saying that?
Nah, he knows it. He had no skill, but he was fast. He was very fast.
But that's all you got to do.
Yeah, he was older too. He's like 60, 61 now. So yeah, he was like... Yeah.
Man, so that's the same age as my dad.
Yeah.
And I've got 20-something years on you.
Yeah.
So he is a bit older.
Yeah. He's got another kid, but yeah. No, he had no skill. Really. He didn't. Everyone was like really scared that he was just going to eat shit the whole time.
They're like, this guy fangs it. But
yeah, well, the coach would tell him to slow down because he's like a whole straight ahead of everyone. The coach would be like, just slow down because he's going to eat shit. And he's like yelling at him. And I'm like, oh, I thought he was going to eat shit too. And he broke like a couple of ribs, punched his lung. Yeah, it's not. But he was fast. Right. Yeah, he was really fast.
So what did he do for a gig if BMX was just a part-time sort of fun activity? What was he doing?
Oh, just working. He was just working. He'd just rock up to work with broken ribs, punched a lung, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Nuts. And so then you start to see the BMXs around, you jump on, you start racing as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a fucking competitive thing. Any kid's competitive sport, generally, the parents get too excited and take the fun out of it. So then you just started to think, all right, at the skate park, I can do my own little tricks at my own pace and there's no fucking one breathing down my neck. Yeah,
pretty much. But... it wasn't actually like that. It was still, you obviously push your kids to do things. I got pushed a fair bit, like all the kids do. Yep. But there's a point where it needs to stop, you know? It's just like you get pushed a little bit too much. But
takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, it takes the fun out of it and you kind of just don't want to do it. But then I stuck with it. But I had a coach when I was a kid. He was good coach, probably one of the best coaches I've had. He's still coaching now in Queensland as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think coaches are just they're a good idea for like beginners and to learn the basics, but then you got to learn it yourself, really.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. You got to learn it by yourself.
So because that's the thing. When I think about sports like BMX, skateboarding, that sort of thing, I think, okay, a coach is all right if you're at that level, like fucking Olympic Games or X Games or whatever, and you need that 1% is going to make a difference. But just on a professional level, if you're just putting out fucking video parts and if you're just being a professional rider, it's not a necessity, is it?
Nah, the coaches, they pretty much just guide you. Like if you have a coach, they just guide you to do the right things. But
like a mentor more than
yeah. But I think people need to learn how to learn stuff by themselves because it's just a mentality thing, really. And they shouldn't have someone there to push them. They should be able to push themselves.
Yep.
But I mean, I try my best to push myself. It's hard here because we don't really have many riders here.
Yep.
It's difficult. Yeah.
It is. I was talking to Lewis about this a couple of weeks ago, and it's like because Melbourne, I think, with the trams and with the flatness of the city. It leans more to skateboarding, and you can't take your fucking BMX on the tram, which a lot of kids are growing up without the riding those bikes, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that has a flow-on effect to how many riders there are out there.
Yeah, I mean, it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the skate park I wanted to ride every day.
Right.
So I'd like finish school. Well, I'd leave school early, about like 12 or something. Get on the train, get to Ramp Fest, which is in the city, like in Braybrook.
Yep.
I get there around like 2:30, 3. Just ride there until my dad would pick me up at like 10, really.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then just go to school the next day.
Yeah. Man, there's some of these kids at the Olympics that go to school where they just skate and ride BMX.
Yeah, there's one in Queensland. It's called Level Up. Yeah, it costs quite a bit of money to go there, but I mean, if you're keen on putting your kids into it, I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that young girl, 14-year-old that won the gold.
Arissa, yeah.
Yeah. She said that she does schoolwork for like an hour or so a day and then just skates the rest of the day.
I wish I could have done that. That'd be great.
But I wonder, now that there is the Olympic carrot to dangle, if you showed promise, would the AIS fucking fund some of that? Do you know what I mean? Like, or
well, I'm in the VIS.
Yeah.
So I get physios and all that
Which is
type of
awesome.
stuff for free, which is good.
Yeah.
Like PTs and stuff.
Yep.
But I've asked them for an airbag because we don't have a foam pit in Melbourne, but I don't think that's going to happen.
You do. I'm just looking at your socials. Like, there is like rubberized sort of things. So what do you call that?
It's called a resi.
Okay.
It's just to do tricks safer, really. It's looked down upon in BMX a little bit.
But you got to learn. You're not taking that to the
Exactly.
street. Like, that's just to dial that trick in and then take it somewhere without it.
But then you have like street riders that like they say, well, we don't have a resi going down a stair set. It's like, but you learnt the tricks in the skate park, and then you're doing them down the stair set. Like, I'm trying to learn the tricks, and I'm going upside down. I don't want to land on my head and break my neck, you know. So it's a safer way. But
For sure.
yeah, it's a bit clicky between like street and park for some reason, because I love street riding. I watch more street riding than I do park riding. It's like, it's my favourite thing to watch.
Yeah.
And I just don't ride it, unfortunately.
But you're still young, so who knows where your career is going to take you with that sort of stuff. I don't know, man. There's always going to be infighting within subcultures, and this isn't true to that, and that isn't true to this, and fuck, whatever, man. Like, I think someone summed it up. They said it to me once. They're like, a lot of these older heads are just pissed off they didn't have these opportunities. If they had the opportunities to have the skate park or to have the resi or whatever, they would have used them. They just grew up in a different time.
Yeah, there was an older rider that I invented a trick, and he was at Ramp Fest, and I did the trick, and I didn't know that he invented it. I did the trick, and he kind of just like, he was like, oh, I invented this trick, and I was like, oh yeah, that's sick. And then one of the other riders dropped in and did that trick, but one-upped it. So, and yeah, that guy was a bit pissed off, and I was like, what do you expect? Like, we got foam pits and resis and all that. You didn't have that. So for you to learn that trick, the first person to ever do it, straight on the concrete, fair play.
Exactly.
You know?
But I guess for some of the, and I don't know that situation in particular, but he probably just wanted some fucking props like, oh man, I can do that because you did it or something like that, you know?
I didn't even know that he was the first person to do it. I had no idea. And then, yeah, he kind of got a bit annoyed and I just didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
But I was just like pretty cool that he was the first person to do that trick. I was like, far out. Like,
For sure.
yeah, but the kids are doing it at like 6 years old now, which is crazy.
It's bananas.
But none of us know that he was the first person to do it.
No.
No.
And that's the thing with some of these older people in these sports cultures, whatever you want to say. They feel a little bit like they didn't get their props, you know what I mean, and that sort of thing. But times have changed now, man, and you know what I mean. Did he get it? Is the trick actually named after him?
No.
Okay,
No.
so that's hard to.
There was no social media back then.
Back then.
Like, what do they expect?
Yeah.
I mean, I watch heaps of old videos. Like, I love watching Dave Mirra. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Matt Hoffman, I got a signed picture of him on my wall at home. I love watching all the old stuff and knowing that they sent it straight on those ramps as high as they could possibly go. It's just crazy to me. It's mental.
It's crazy, yeah. And even to this day, you look at some of that stuff, you're like, wow.
Like Matt Hoffman doing the first flare. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, that is the most wild-looking flare I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Because with the flares, were they actually, you were rotating like that to come down forward because it made the most sense. But then that becomes the bit that you sort of stylize, yeah?
Yeah, well, his first one was just a backflip, and then like halfway through, he just turns his head and just starts spinning.
Yeah.
Landed like dead flat as well, I'm pretty sure, and it was just like, yeah, I don't know, it was mental, but now it's kind of just turned into like some UFO-looking spin thing.
Yeah.
Everyone does it a bit different. Sometimes it doesn't even look like a flare, and it looks like a 540.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it, with style, with any of these things. When someone does something so steezy, it looks like it's easier than it is, which then kind of is counter because people are like, oh, that's not even hard. Like it fucking is. It's really hard to make it look that good.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same with like even just watching Lewis. Like watching some of the stuff he does, you go, oh, I could do that. And then you go to try it, you're like, fuck no, like that's insane. Yeah. Like just
Style
throwing
goes
a
a long
bar
way.
out of a crook like down a rail. That's mental.
Man, what I think is nuts, and as someone who's never really ridden a BMX, when people do, I don't even know what it's called, like wheels, like you just go down the fucking...
Oh, tire ride, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts to me. Like on a round rail to just ride down something that's 15, 20 stairs, that's crazy.
Oh, I've tried it once. One time, didn't work.
The smallest margin of error,
Yeah.
like I can understand you hook up with pegs and do like a 50-50, 5-0, whatever. But to ride down on your wheels, it's like, fuck, man.
I think, I tried it once and I like slipped off the rail and just nutted the friggin' rail. I was just like,
Which is going to happen 99% of the time.
oh, you'd be surprised. I've never seen some people do that. They just land them every shot. I'm like, that's just, I mean, it's probably the same. They think about that when I do a certain trick,
Yeah.
but that's like, there's so much margin for error. It's just like, yeah.
Like, I feel like you need to have, like, less air in your tyres or something to sort of grip on. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do. Street riders definitely
Really?
have like 30 to 40 PSI, sometimes even less. It looks like their whole tyre's going to come off the rim.
Yeah.
But I run 100 PSI just so I can go as fast as possible.
And but when you're hitting quarters and that sort of thing, you need that stuff.
Yeah. I never used to because I used to have like really bad wrists because I broke my wrist quite a few times.
Yep.
So I used to have really bad wrists, so I'd run like 60 PSI.
Yeah.
But then I just started going faster and faster, and I just started putting on more weight and just like getting bigger, and then I could just feel the tires sinking into the ramp, and I was like, yeah, I need to pump my tires up. Yeah.
Well, that's something else that I've talked to some skaters about. Like people can show promise as a young kid, and I'm imagining that happens a lot. With biking, it kind of works in your favor because when you go through puberty, you become stronger, more upper body. With some skaters, they just become more fucking awkward. But did that help you when you started to fucking sort of grow and put some size on?
If you're like, yeah, I think when you go through puberty, your riding changes so much. Like you just go from like scared to that point where you just go, oh, I'm just going to send it. I'm just going to give it a shot. Because you kind of know that your body can take it, like if you crash. And I know that like usually when I crash now, I'm going to be all right.
Yep.
But yeah, you get a lot stronger and you can throw the bike around, you can do bigger tricks, and then your confidence goes up, and it's just, yeah, it's a whole different ball game, I reckon.
Yeah, stair sets and quarters and stuff don't look as big when you're a man as
no
when
way.
you're a kid.
Yeah, no way. Nah. Like there's some jumps even at Ramp Fest, like when I first went there, I was like, oh, I'm never going to backflip this jump.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is huge. And now I just do it first drop in of the day. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hang on, so tell us about Ramfest because I'm not familiar, man. Where is it? And is it privately run? Like,
No, Ramfest, you can pay for a session there. You can go ride there all day. I go there pretty much every day because there's not really a skate park in Melbourne that's as big as that.
so where is it? Where is it?
It's in Braybrook,
Okay. Yeah.
so like Tottenham.
Yep. Oh, yep.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
get
a
off at
long
Tottenham
way-
station. It's like 5 minutes.
Right. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's really, I reckon it's the best skate park in Australia. Some people would deny that, but I think it's the best in Australia.
And skaters and BMXers are using it together.
Skaters don't really go there because it's made out of plywood.
Okay.
But scooters go there, bikes go there. You see some skaters, but and a few rollerbladers, but not too much.
Rollerblading's back a bit, isn't it? There's a lot more people rollerblading than there was.
Yeah, for sure. I reckon there's so many skaters now compared to when I moved here. There's so many like skaters, like bowl skaters. Like when I first moved here, there was like none, and I was like surprised because in Queensland there's heaps of skaters.
Yeah.
And I moved here and I was like, there's no skaters. But now you can go to any park. Like I went to Albury the other day randomly because I was like driving home. There was a whole like coaching clinic there for skating, and I'm like, what the hell? You don't see that for bikes, especially not in Melbourne. No way.
Yeah, the bikes. As growing up, and I'm a fair bit older, bikes and the skaters got along, but people were against the bikes because they'd fuck the coping.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that sort of stuff. Is that still happening, man?
I don't have pegs, but yeah, sometimes.
Can you see where they're coming from though?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like if you I feel like if you have metal pegs and you're smacking the pull coping with your pegs, like it's gonna chip it off and stuff.
Yeah.
Like St Kilda skate park, the coping there is a bit messed up.
Yeah, but that's, you know why? Because I was living there when they built that. It never properly cured because everyone was skating it before it was fucking finished, man.
But skate trucks are metal.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not as heavy as
And
well.
you're not coming down as much force as that. Yeah, the bikes weigh a lot.
Yeah, that's probably like Flinders rail. That's why it's so dinted up and
Banged up.
yeah, it's like it's pretty bad now.
So on your personal journey, when did you actually come to Melbourne from Queensland?
I don't even know.
You're a kid.
Yeah, I was like maybe 12.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 12. Yeah.
So you were already pretty deep into your BMX riding by then.
Yeah, for the standard of kids back then, I was good. But if you compared me back then to the kids now, I was nothing.
But that's just a thing you can't really do. You can only sort of look.
Yeah.
Because, man, like we were saying before, that kid doing a tail whip who's 5 years old out of the fun box, like, pretty crazy.
There's like a 6-year-old kid in Japan that's doing like, I think he's in Japan. He's doing like triple truck drivers, which are like 360 with 3 bar spins in it, over like a spine that's 5 times bigger than he is. And I'm like, dude, next generation's going to be mental.
In the Olympics, that women's skate park...
For the BMX?
No, for the skating, the average age on the podium was 14.
Yeah. I feel it's definitely not possible. I don't think that's possible in BMX, but skating, it's like, I think it's just dropped. Like Tony Hawk, how old was he when he did the first 900?
Oh, he would have been 35 or something, yeah.
Just girls doing it at like 16 or something. Like, it's crazy how much stuff progresses.
Yeah.
But you can't take anything away from Tony for doing the first one.
No. That's, yeah, it just goes to, but I think, man, people have to see something happen to know it's possible then to do it.
Yeah.
So someone has to do the first 900 badly for then someone to be like, okay, well, I could actually do it a little bit more stylish. Yeah. And now people are doing 1080s and fucking...
Yeah, I've done a couple 1080s. I need to get that back.
Really?
Yeah, I've had a bad run with injuries. Like a really bad run, and I'm still injured now, but I'm just trying to push through it at the moment.
Yep.
But yeah, I've done a few 1080s, but it's just a mental block to do them again, which is unfortunate.
On like a mega ramp type scenario, how much?
No, it's just a normal jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it on a spine a couple times.
With the transfer into the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it's got a resi on it.
Okay.
But
you just take that away one day.
Yeah, like if there was a competition and I needed to do it on that spine without a resi, I'd do it.
Okay.
But I don't think there was any point in me taking the resi off specifically just to land it.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's looked down upon the resi, unfortunately.
But yeah, you're training, man. You're practicing, and then when it comes to the competition, so you said you had a bunch of injuries as a kid. When did like you had your first big slam and you realized, fuck, this isn't a game. Like this is I can really hurt myself.
I think the first one wasn't even riding BMX. So I was like in the street on an electric skateboard, and I like pulled the brakes and went straight over and put my hand into someone's wheel, like bike wheel, and it kept going around and then got caught and just ripped my wrist. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know how old I was, but yeah, I think that was my first broken wrist, and then I did it again like a year later. It was like every year I had a broken wrist.
You need your wrist when you're riding bikes.
And because in Queensland you got a swimming pool, every year my family would come down for Christmas and I couldn't go in the freaking swimming pool. So I had a cast on my wrist, and then I just ended up just jumping in anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I broke my wrist quite a few times.
And that's going to happen in that game, man.
Yeah, I did it. I even did it at school. I was just a clumsy kid.
Yeah.
Just like fall off the monkey bars, put my hand out and break the freaking thing. It's just unfortunate. Because they like, even if I land flat now, like they're pretty bad. Yeah. And like my ankle's pretty bad because I broke my ankle not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And I've got a bulging disc in my back, which is a pain in the ass as well. So.
You're only 19, man. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I try, but probably not hard enough. I don't know.
But it's having that sort of fearless attitude you need, man. You can't go doing flares over spines and 1080s and shit and be worried about hurting yourself, because how much of it's fucking up here?
I reckon most of it's mental. Like, I could sit there and I could do this trick every single time, but I haven't done it for a week. So I'll sit there and be like, fuck, what do I do? And I'm just like stressing about sending it again. But then you just tell yourself, you're just like, I've done it so many times. The worst thing that's going to happen is this, and then you just do it. Yeah. But it's just a mind game sometimes. Like the 1080, I just haven't done it. And a 3-flip, I haven't done a 3-flip for so long because I don't know, I don't have the foam pit anymore. I didn't want to go straight on the resi after hurting myself. I forgot like how it feels in my head. Yeah. It's frustrating.
And I guess that is the older heads' excuse, or not excuse, but sort of reasoning why resis are bad, because it teaches you bad comfort that isn't going to be there all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's just I don't know. We have it, so why not use it?
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
For
like
sure.
if they had it, they'd use it.
For sure. For sure.
Like, I'm sure Dave Mirra used foam pit in a resi. Like he did.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't take anything away from him. Like Logan Martin, I reckon he's the best rider, like park rider ever. He's won everything there is to win.
Yep. He's got a park in his backyard.
Oh, I think he's selling that actually.
Okay.
But yeah, he's won everything there is to win. He's like, if he won, I reckon he could have won the Olympics if he landed that run. I put money on him. I didn't get it, but I put money on the Chinese girl to win.
Yeah,
She won it.
she did.
Yeah, dude, the Chinese girls, unreal. They're like progressing so quick. They only started after the last Olympics.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Has there always been a BMX culture in China?
Nah, they literally, I think they watched it and then were like, we could get a medal in this for the next one, and then just put them in there, and they got a medal. And I'm like, oh, unreal.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And they're doing stuff that no girls have ever done. Like she double whipped the spine, and even I'm sitting there going, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Just double whipped the spine, and then just like putting a run together really well and riding the park really well. I was a bit surprised as well.
Is the way that it works in the Olympics similar to the competitions that you're riding in park here? Like you get 45 seconds or whatever?
It's a minute.
A minute?
Yeah, it's a minute of just your best tricks, but there's so many criteria that go into the scoring. So it's like style, speed, height, like all that type of stuff, and obviously the tricks and how you execute the tricks. I've been lucky that I haven't had to do the massive tricks because I can ride the park so well.
Yeah.
Because my riding is more just stylish sort of riding and going high and stuff, but I don't actually have the biggest tricks. Like there's some riders that have like all the big tricks but can't put it together.
You got to link them.
Yeah, and I'm just really good at putting them together because I do the same tricks all day, every day, instead of learning new stuff every day. But I think that's what Logan's so good at as well, but he's been doing it for so long. He's had so much time to perfect everything.
Yeah.
But I kind of took a bit of what Logan did, and he can ride the park unreal, even if he didn't do any tricks. Like you'd just watch it and be like, how's this guy going so high? How's he landing perfect on everything? And that's kind of what I tried to do.
So, and because at the moment you're the Victorian amateur champion.
Pro.
Pro.
Yeah.
Victoria Pro champion.
Yeah. I got the amateur one, and then both years after that, I won both of those as well.
Which is awesome.
Oh, there's not many riders here. I mean, I didn't really have, like, there's not too much competition here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because, like, it'll push you more, you know?
Yeah.
But we have, like, some of the best riders that still live here but just don't ride,
Okay.
which is unfortunate.
Because they just moved on different things in their life?
Yeah, they've had kids, just stuff like that. They've just gotten older. Like, there's one, he was the first person to send a triple front flip, and he's in Melbourne. And it's like, he's one of the coaches at Ramp Fest, but he doesn't ride too often.
Yep.
But he's like, I don't know, I kind of took a bit of what I say. I take everything of what he says to heart because I want to, if I had the career he had, I'd be happy,
Yep.
you know, but yeah, there's no riders here, which is just.
So as it makes it hard for someone like you who's young, eager, and fucking hasn't even hit the prime of your riding because you don't have the heads here pushing you.
I got no one to learn off here, you know, like you watch people do tricks and you go, that's how I do it. And then you ask them and you're like, that's how you learn. But I don't have anyone here that's doing that.
Yep.
Which is like, there's a guy from Colombia that's here. He's really good. And I like ride with him a little bit, but it's so hard to learn tricks by yourself when you don't understand how they work.
Yeah.
As well. And especially without a foam pit to like figure it out.
So what do you got to do? Go to Queensland?
Yeah.
You really do?
Yeah, I'm moving there next month because I don't want to because I love Melbourne and I'm probably one of the few people that actually likes the weather here. But I actually love the weather. It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to move there, which I don't want to, but I need a foam pit, and if I want to make this dream happen, like that's just what I got to do.
And the street thing doesn't appeal to you as much. Like I'm sure Lewis and there's a few other people here that are doing the street thing and they're doing it big, you know.
Well, Lewis is my favourite rider. I love watching him ride. I reckon he's like the most stylish rider there is. But yeah, I would ride street, but I feel like I've gone too far into this that it's a bit stupid if I stopped. you know? And I love going high and I love doing all that stuff. And I feel like if I did incorporate the tricks that I can do in park into street, like I'd be pretty good at street.
Yeah.
But I think I've just gone too deep into this where it's just, I may as well just keep going.
For sure. And
Yeah.
you're only 19. The
Yeah.
streets will always be there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So when it comes to this is going to show my naivety a bit, but when it comes to BMX brands, there's ones that tilt more the street, more the park. Who are you riding for at the moment? And obviously that's from the park sort of side of it.
Well, I ride for Ramp Fest and they support me a lot.
Which is good when you're there every day.
Yeah, it's really good. I ride for Sabrosa and Shadow Conspiracy, but that's just flow at the moment.
Yep.
I'd love for something more to happen there.
Yep. If you ride in the pro contest, they've got to step up and make you.
It's really hard to get sponsorships.
Yep.
I think, I don't know. It's really hard, and I'd love to get some because paying for stuff is becoming a big problem for me. But I mean, I will be getting a job in Queensland, which will be all right. It'll be like a week on, week off thing, so I can still ride and still work and make money.
Yep.
But sponsorships it's a cliquey thing to talk about as well because everyone thinks they deserve a sponsorship.
Yeah.
But I'd love, something more.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're saying that it's a bit cliquey, it's a bit of a boys' club with some of these brands, and they don't necessarily give the sponsorship to people that deserve it. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like they give it to people's friends as well. Like if they're friends with this person, you got to know someone really. And I know a lot of people, but it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of people in Queensland as well that have this same problem. It's just a cliquey thing. Maybe some people don't see it like that, but that's just how I see it. But I think I've gotten on a few people's bad books by saying things that I actually believe.
Okay, just being opinionated.
Yeah,
Just
if you just say things that you believe, like people don't like that sometimes, but some people do.
Can you give us an example without saying the wrong thing again, but maybe just so I can understand?
Just like people doing certain things and then you say something about it, but it's kind of a dig at them, but at the same time it's not. Because it's like, I don't know, I don't want to say anything like specific.
Okay, yeah.
But, I don't know. A lot of people don't like when you're very honest.
Okay.
And you kind of...
Call it how it is.
Yeah, I feel like BMX is sort of, you got to suck up a little bit to get what you want. And I don't want to be like that at all.
Yep.
I want to say what I think because that's just how I was brought up.
Yep.
My dad says what he thinks. That's what I want to do. And if people don't like that, then it's just, I don't know, there's not much I can do about it, really.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change myself for what they want, No.
It kind of means you maybe have to start your own brand.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, but I don't have money for that.
Nah, but it's something to think about. I think, look, man, not just in BMX, but I think in a lot of places where there is industry, someone who comes along who doesn't want to toe the company line, so to speak, often get left behind. And that sucks because it doesn't mean that there's necessarily, they're not the best rider or the best artist or whatever it is. It just means they're not willing to play the game.
Yeah.
It sounds like at 19 years old, you fucking figured that out.
Yeah, I figured that out pretty quick, actually. Yeah, figured that out when I was like 10.
Really?
Just like, because the Queensland culture has like changed quite a bit. Like back then, there was just like groups of riders, and now it's still like that, but it's younger because there's so many kids there now, which is just crazy.
And those kids now, their parents probably were riders or were skaters or whatever, so they're growing up with it around.
I don't even think that's what it is. It's just like they see it as like a soccer or footy now, Right. They put it's like paying for soccer coaching. But for them, it's BMX coaching, I think that's how they see it. And there's a lot of people that are like, that's not BMX. Yep. It's like, well, I mean, these people are making money off it. I don't think they really care,
Look, whether or not people like it, people have been getting bike and fucking skateboarding lessons forever.
Yeah.
Now with the internet, it's just more, you hear about it more. It's been happening for a long time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Rich kids have always been getting someone who's professional at whatever to help them do whatever.
Yeah.
It's been happening forever.
Yeah. There's just a lot of kids that can't afford that.
Exactly.
And then they get left behind.
Yep.
And they're very talented. Like, there's one in Brisbane. He's like an extremely talented kid. He rides street. He rides everything. Like street, park, dirt,
What's his
whatever.
name? Give him a shout out.
Oh, his name's Will Green. He's an extremely good rider. Like, very talented. But he gets left behind in a lot of things.
Okay.
Like groups and stuff like that. Because he doesn't do the things that they do. Do you know what I mean? Like if they like go to the shops and steal stuff, you know, like stuff like that. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, because he's like got his head screwed on.
Yeah, well, his dad's taught him well, you know, like his
Yeah.
parents have taught him well, but it's just, I don't know, a lot of kids get left behind. That's why they leave the sport.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a lot of talented people that have left the sport.
Yeah.
Like even this kid I used to verse back when I was a kid, he left the sport and he was one of the most talented kids I've ever seen on a bike.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah, it's look with a lot of stuff, man. Especially something like that is taxing on your body and is dangerous. A lot of people grow up, like you said, they have kids or they get jobs where they can't hurt themselves, and they go, "This is it's a tough fucking pastime."
yeah.
You know?
I feel like a lot of people's parents push them out of it as well. You know, just pushing them too hard and just push them out of the sport. But my dad pushed me because he was a athlete, so he pushed me a lot. But I got through it, which is good. Like he pushes me a little bit now, but he does it as a joke. Like he'll tell me to do tricks that I haven't done for a while, just because he knows it pisses me off.
But that's true though. You
Yeah.
need it. You can't, the
You
longer you
need that.
leave them, yeah.
Yeah, like he tells me to do a 3 flip all the time, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna hurt myself. I don't remember how it feels in my head. He's like, just do it. He's like, just do it. Just tells me to do it all the time, and he knows it's gonna rile me up. And he knows one day I'm just gonna go, you know what, fuck you, and just do it.
Do it, yeah.
So,
With where you're saying about the clickiness of certain industry and stuff, now with socials though, you can do your own thing because you might find somebody that wants to fucking sponsor you from the other side of the world, from Europe, from the US, that's got nothing to do with the Aussie scene.
yeah, nah, I don't get too many messages about that. Like I've gotten a few, but I think it was just like I wasn't ready for it when I got those messages. Definitely ready for it now, but I don't get anything. But everyone thinks they deserve it, you know. But I feel like I probably ride more than anyone I know.
Yeah.
Like I ride every day nearly, like 6 days a week. I'll maybe take a Monday off, you know. But I'll ride all day. Like I'll get to Rampfest maybe at like 12 and ride till like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
You know, all day. And I push myself every day. And there's like people that I see that don't do that, and they're I don't know, they get handed everything to them, where there's other people out there that definitely deserve it a bit more. And it's frustrating for me to see that.
So you've come to the conclusion that the Gold Coast or Sydney, Brisbane, I don't know where.
Yeah, Brisbane, yeah.
Brisbane is the spot to be, and you think things will be a bit different there?
I think I'll just progress in a way where people will see it more.
Okay.
Because I progress, but I don't progress quick enough because I don't have those facilities.
Yep.
And because I'm not in the spotlight because I'm in Melbourne, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Queensland, like competitions, jams and stuff.
Yep.
I'd love to be there just to put myself there. Yeah, I try my best to go to all those, but it's a lot of money to do that.
Is there a scene in Sydney? It seems like people don't talk about Sydney much. Like Lewis said that there was sort of out where he was, but is there much going on there?
Not park riding, no, but I feel like there's a few street riders. Like there's a kid out there, his name's Timothy Victor. He's riding really good. Jackman's out there. There's like a few people I love watching out there, but there's no park riders really.
So Queensland's the mecca.
Yeah, 100%. There's like there's a few in Perth. There's some in Tassie, but there's just everyone will go to Queensland if they want to learn something.
That's the BMX spot.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about overseas, man? Like if you really want to give it a good nudge, going to California is where it's happening?
No, I'd love to go to the UK
Okay.
because they've got best skate parks there. Like
Right.
best indoor skate parks. They've got the best facilities, best foam pits, everything.
Really?
Yeah. Like they've got this place called Adrenaline Alley. Unreal. Like it looks like so much fun.
You've never been?
Nah, but it looks so good. And the guy who just came second at the Olympics, he rides there all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks unreal, and it looks like if you want to learn tricks, you could just learn them there.
In London or just in England somewhere?
I don't know where it is. It's in the UK somewhere, but
UK
it looks
somewhere.
unreal.
Right,
And the
okay.
box jumps, like they got like different warehouses and stuff.
Yeah.
I think with like different skate parks in them and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Looks unreal.
Okay.
So good.
But where, if you're going to try and make it industry wise, is the US still the main place for that sort of BMX like park culture?
I feel like you got to go to the jams in the US because that's like where most of the brands are from, I think.
Yep.
So like if you were there and they're sponsoring that brand and you were like involved in it, they would see it. But I can't do that.
You can't.
It just costs too much money. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing as well because I just went to France. I did a competition there, but I got supported for that, like money wise. I didn't do the best I wanted, but I did all right.
Yeah. It's an experience.
Yeah.
When you've mentioned earlier that the VIS are helping you out, so then if you go to Queensland, are they still going to help you out? Are you still a Victorian?
I think I get changed to the QAS.
Yep.
I'm not too sure. I was actually just on the phone asking about that. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be in either of those because I'm categorized with like Oz cycling. Yeah.
It's so funny, like, just watching the Olympics then, obviously BMX, it's all cycling, but fuck, there's a lot of different kind of cycling, man.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny that there's one governing body, like you said, Oz Cycling, that governs the whole thing.
Yeah, like when I walk into the VIS, I'm completely different to everyone else in there. Like most of them just like, they're wearing like really tight pants and like tight shirt and they're like walking around and I'm just like, I'll just walk in with like tattoos all over my hands and I don't know, I just walk in, I go, I'll just go on this bike, whatever, and just like start pedaling and stuff. But I don't know, I think I look a bit weird in there, but whatever.
Is that only become a thing since they've got it at the Olympics? Like, were they looking after BMX and skateboarders before that?
Yeah, there was a couple BMX riders that are in Queensland now that were in the VIS. Yeah. But I didn't really hear much about it. I wasn't.
Did they reach out to you for that, or you have to chase them to sort of?
No, I got categorized, so I did well in the national competitions.
Yep.
I came I think I was in top 3 for like all of them.
Yep. This is as a junior or as a...
As a junior, yeah. They like amateur and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think they just noticed that and I got categorised off one of my nationals placings. Yep. I came like second in the amateurs. And I got categorised since that. And then that's like a whole year scholarship.
Right.
And then I just got put on for another year, which is great.
So explain to me, as someone who's never been a fucking athlete, what's involved with going to the VIS? Where is it? Geographically, what do you do when you fucking get part of the program?
Oh, you meant to go there. You're meant to go there like, I don't know, they asked me to go like twice a week.
Where is it?
It's in Albert Park.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Like right next to the lake, yeah.
Yeah.
You meant to go there like twice a week and like, I don't know, get checked up and stuff. But I did that for a bit, but I just let it go a bit. I don't know.
But they help you with funding and with like stuff that you need when it comes to like physio and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I get physio, which is great. There's like these massage things for your legs. I can use all that. There's doctors which I was going to the doctors and the physios quite a bit at one point.
Did those guys get it? Because they're used to probably dealing with people who are athletes as far as like athletics and sports people that play ball sports. When you're like, I fucking hit my back on a spine ramp, they'd be like, what are you doing, man?
They want everyone to not crash, and I'm telling them their sport is crashing. And they're like, how many times you fall off this week? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And they're like, can you stay on the bike? I'm like, it doesn't work like that. And they're like, yeah, but when a track cyclist falls off, they're like, break their wrist. How do you not do that every time you fall off? I'm like, we know how to crash.
Yeah.
Like, you got to learn how to crash.
Yeah.
But obviously sometimes you don't crash correctly. But I think it was a bit weird for them being in there because it's like a different mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I'd go in there in a pair of Vans and like whatever, and they're just like, oh, you're going to go do the gym? I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I'd put it like the fucking heaviest shit. I'm just like, let's go. And they're like, nah, you got to do this. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then I'm just like listening to them because I didn't really know what to do. And they don't really know like the exercises to give me. Like, they'd tell me to get like a 20 kilo weight and spin it, like tail whips and stuff.
Oh.
Like, it worked. Like, that's a pretty good idea because my bike's not 20 kilos. It's like 9, I think, something like that. But yeah, they're just like telling me to spin it and just different stuff like this. And I was just like, I don't know if this is working, but I'll listen to you, whatever.
Yeah, I guess you guys are probably kind of the guinea pigs with this situation, though. Like, they're kind of sitting there going, fuck, well, we don't know, like, how to... They wouldn't even know where the metrics are.
Nah.
What, like, it's...
I think they were trying to compare it to, like, gymnastics. And I'm like, it's different. They're like, yeah, but when you're spinning like this, I'm like, no, we have a bike. Like, the bike changes like, you could go from upside down to a completely different way and just eat shit. Yeah. And they're like, that doesn't make sense because when you do it on a trampoline, I'm like, no, we're carrying a 9 kilo bike, you know? Yeah. Like, they don't get it as much. No. But I take everything that they say, like to heart, and I like listen to all of it, and I like try to better myself with it. Yeah. But I think a lot of it, I'm just like, that doesn't make sense.
And it's no fault to their own. I think it's just new territory that they're dealing with.
Well, they're used to cyclists and basketball players and like stuff like that, you know?
With metrics that are easy to sort of... Someone goes to them and says, hey, it's taking me 3 seconds to get from this part of my run to this part of my run. They can break it down and be like, oh, bioscience says you can do this and this. When you're going, fuck, I hurt my back. They go, well, don't fall off. You're like, it's not an option.
Well, one of the Oz cycling workers, he's the owner of Rampfest. So I talk to him a lot, and I take everything that he says like a lot. And I ask him, like, if there's a competition, I'll ask him, like, oh, should I do this or should I do this? And, like, figure out my run, you know, because there's different ways you can go around the park. And if you go a different way to everyone else, the judges are going to see that. And they're going to like that. So I was like, right, well, I'll ask him because he understands it. And I'll take everything that he says. And now I feel like my comp riding is, like, 10 times better than it was.
Yep.
But, like, the VIS don't get that, you know?
No. And look... This hopefully for the VIS sake it'll improve, but they're just in their infancy of this kind of fucking extreme sports. They just don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, it'd probably help them a bit more if I went there too and actually told them a bit more. But
well, no, totally, man. Well, it's like the whole thing. Like, okay, you can complain about a skate park in your area. Eventually, they build your skate park, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But they don't know it sucks because they're just trying to build a skate park,
and they've never ridden.
They've never. So they need people to tell them. So it's probably you'd be doing future generations a service if you went and said, "Hey, I appreciate what you're doing, but these things don't matter to me. And in the future, younger people would appreciate you doing this, and this, potentially."
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah. I think I'd do that. But I think they're trying to figure out, like, because obviously Logan and those riders, like Brandon Lupos and stuff, they're in Oz Cycling in Queensland, and the QAS a lot more involved than the
You got to
VIS.
go to Queensland.
Yeah.
You've convinced me.
Yeah, but I think they're asking the QAS to talk to the VIS to try and give us, like, a bit more, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter now because I'm going there. But
You're going there.
Oh, because I was the only one in it. But now there's another kid in Melbourne that's going into the VIS.
Yeah.
So now he's going to have to deal with that a bit.
And that's the other thing, man. When you're one dude out of the whole thing, they're going, oh, well, fuck, he actually turned up this time. We don't really know what to do with him. Tell him to do the bar spins.
Yeah. No.
But then when there's more people there and someone else you can go there with and be like, let's actually... You could push each other just at the gym.
Yeah, but they don't understand the sport either.
No, that's a problem on that.
Yeah, they really don't understand the sport. It's like skating. They're like, they take it like it's road cycling, you know? Yeah. They don't understand the mentality and the background of BMX and like stuff like that.
People really don't get it, man. Just watching the Olympics and like someone like Shane O'Neill, like people are like, oh, this guy can't even land a trick. I'm like, mate, he's probably won more fucking X Games than anybody there besides Yuto, who's on his own fucking skateboard label.
Yeah.
And people think that professionals just land the trick every single time. Then they're not pushing any envelopes. That's just landing a trick.
I mean, and then there's that breakdance girl. I mean, that was...
It's a whole new thing, man.
I think it's getting kicked out of the Olympics because of it.
Not because of it. LA were never going to have it.
Okay. But now everyone's saying that it's because of her.
Which is just easy viral stuff to talk about. But the way that she got accepted is... So she owns a breakdancing school, which is the governing body, like you were saying, Cycling Australia.
Yeah.
It's like Dancing Australia.
So it's like ballroom dancing or something.
Ballroom dancing, jazz dancing, all this other shit. And then she just had to be this breaking sort of part of it. She owned a breaking school. She held the Australasian breakdance heats.
Oh, like the Oceanas or something.
At her own breakdancing school in Sydney. So all these other people across the country couldn't have made it to Sydney. And then her husband was on the board of selectors or whatever. And then she won and then she got through. So the whole thing's a load of shit.
Apparently she had a different routine and then just went, I'm going to hop around like a kangaroo. But
I followed the whole thing, right? I looked at her page before she did it.
Did she have anything different?
On Instagram, she had like 3,000 or 4,000 followers, right? And then the next day when it happened, she went to 30,000. Later on that day, 50, then 100,000. And then so literally over 24 hours, she's gone from like a few thousand to 100,000 followers. So if her intention was to just build a following, she did it.
Yeah, she did a good job of that, eh? I mean, the guy who won the Olympics for us, he was at like 100,000. I think he's like 400,000 now or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
But and this is the other thing though, man. with BMX, there is sponsorship, there is money, there is ways to get paid. I feel for the people like who just do some. If you're a javelin thrower or something, how much money is there in that? Like you spent your whole life to go do that. You win a gold medal. You come back and then you're like, who's going to pay you to throw a javelin?
I think that's what my dad had the problem with because he was a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
So he had like a problem with money. Even though he was like, I think he won the Victorian Championships like 17 times, which is like insane.
Yep.
And then he won the Australians like twice or 3 times or something. But there's no money in the sport.
There's none.
You know, like it's like BMX. There's not that much money in BMX.
No,
compared to like mountain biking, you know.
No, but there is money in it. There's professional riders. There is people that Louis got a fucking his own colorway in a van shoe. There is money in it, but there's some fucking bizarre sports that even if you were something, say like a diver, you spend your whole life to do this diving thing. I'm sure there's some professional diving circuit. It's probably not a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
But there's like, you might get an ad with fucking Nutrigrain or something, but you're not going to be making a whole life's work off it.
I'm actually on an ad at the moment on TV.
Yeah, what
I'm on a Medibank ad that I filmed at Ramfest, but it's like, I think I got paid like $3,000 for that, which is all right.
Yeah.
It was like a day of filming. I wasn't even meant to be really in the ad. There was like 3 other people, and then I was just the main one that they put in there.
Do they see your face, or you're just doing a backy or something?
Yeah, I went up and they told me to like throw the bike, and then they're holding a $50,000 camera, and they're like, just throw the bike at the camera. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And they're like, no, it's under insurance. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not throwing the bike at the camera. I'll throw it at the floor. And they're like, oh yeah, all right. So I did that, and then they're like, can you crash a backflip? And I'm like, I'm not crashing a backflip. Like I've never purposely tried to crash a backflip.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Some people can do it. Like some people can do it so easy, but I've never actually crashed a backflip like that.
What do you do? Like over rotate and then go back? Like how would you even do that?
You literally just over rotate, throw the bike, and land on your feet. Yeah, but I've never actually tried to do that, and I don't want to try it. And they wanted me to do it, and then as soon as he asked, I was like, "Oh no, I'm good." He was like, "All right, what else can you crash?" I'm like,
"What else can you crash?"
A tail whip? I don't know. Like I can just throw the bike and land on my knees, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. And they were like, "Yeah, all right, we'll do that."
What about if you just landed the backflip and then when you landed it, you just bail the bike?
Yeah, I could, but there was like 10 people sitting at the bottom of the ramp, and I had to land and then dodge them.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, that's more dangerous than telling me to crash a freaking backflip.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what you got to do with those ad things? If they run it again, you got to hit them up because then they got to pay you again, man.
Yeah, well, they played it for a while, and I was getting so many messages about it, and then they stopped, and now it's just on again.
You should hit them up.
You reckon?
Because with those sort of ad things, you get, if they run it past a certain, I don't know, it depends. You sign something, yeah? I think if they run it past a certain period, then you have to get the royalties again.
It's not like they don't have the money. It's Medibank, for God's sake.
Medibank. Pay up, Medibank.
Yeah. You're a bank. No, they're not. I don't even know what they are, to be honest.
The health insurance. Health insurance or whatever. But see, that's another thing, man, here with the VIS, I'm sure you get looked after. But if you hurt yourself, you can go to the hospital. I've broken my ankle too, right? I went to the hospital, never paid anything. So we're lucky in that respect. A lot of places overseas, you don't have that when you fucking get hurt, you know?
Yeah, well, I got a cortisone shot in my back because I was in so much pain. I couldn't ride, I could not sleep. And, like, people don't see that on Instagram. No. And they don't realise that I'm still in pain. I have to take tablets to ride my bike, which is sucks.
No good at 19, man.
Nah, it's bad. And it's getting better, like, slowly, but it's not getting, like, better, like, quick enough, you know? Yeah. And it's frustrating. Like, I have to have tablets every time I ride. Otherwise, I'm just in too much pain for, like, the rest of the day.
Because you got a displaced disc?
Yeah, and it's touching the nerves, and it's going all the way down my legs and, like, to the bottom of my feet. And it's like the most uncomfortable pain you'll ever feel. It sucks.
Have they given you stretches and stuff to do?
Yeah, I've tried all of it. I should probably keep doing it. But it's just, I feel like if I stretch, it hurts it more.
Yeah, maybe initially, but I don't know, man. Like, I've had problems with my back forever. And I went to an osteo once, and then I did like 2 sessions, and she's just like, stretch here, lean, do this. And it's like how you carry yourself has like trickle down effects to everything else.
Is an osteo like a chiropractor as well?
Similar, but they
I think I went to one of them.
Man,
I couldn't remember what it was called.
I
think I went to one of them and they literally, I paid all that money because they're not cheap. No. I paid that money and they didn't do a thing.
Nah, but you kind of got to go a couple times and then because man, you might be sitting on your bike in some sort of way that you one muscle's out a little bit, which then throws everything out, which just makes the whole thing so painful. But because you're young, you could fix that shit.
Well, I actually noticed in my riding, like in my clips, that I was riding so much stiffer than I usually would, and I didn't film anything for a while because I was like, I do not like the look of my riding whatsoever. Yeah. I'll keep doing it to keep like everything going, like the maintenance of the tricks and stuff. But I was like, I do not like the look of this at all. Like I'm riding like really stiff because if I move in a certain way, it hurts. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to film anything. I'll just ride. Hopefully it gets better. Yeah. And then I started taking these tablets. It's just Voltaren. And I've just started taking that, and that's the only thing that works for me. And I can ride no pain.
But you know how you said you ride 6 days a week?
Yeah.
Maybe
I took a while off. Like I didn't ride for like
yeah, but maybe that's a lot to push for your body. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe 6 days. Oh, I don't know.
It is, but I want to do more than everyone else. You know, because everyone like in Queensland, like the older riders, but they've already learnt all the tricks, so they don't have to ride as long.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yep.
To learn those tricks to get to their level. Yeah. And they're like riding like an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, which is for me that wouldn't do anything for me. You know.
But I tell you what will be good for you, man, when you're in Queensland. You'll swim more, which will be better for your back too.
Yeah, my dad tells me that.
It's the best thing you could do.
Every time he tells me to go swimming, I've got a new tattoo, and I'm like, I can't go in the water, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, I just got to stop and just go swim and do all this stuff. And he's like, if you were as motivated as I am, you'd be fine and you'd be at the Olympics now. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Is he still riding BMX at 61?
Nah, he does a bit of everything. He surfs. He loves surfing. Good surfer. Goes on like this skateboard down a hill and like it's like imitates surfing and stuff. Yeah. He's like the most active 60-year-old bloke you'll ever meet. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, my dad goes snowboarding every year in Japan and stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
I want to go to Japan.
Yeah, man, he goes every year. He reckons it's cheaper to go every year for 3 weeks in Japan than it is to go to Bulla for like 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, and that's he's talking food, booze, everything.
Oh, yeah, I want to go to Tokyo pretty bad. Yeah. If there was a comp there, I'd love to go.
There's no BMX. BMX would be a thing there.
Yeah, there's X Games in Japan, but I'd love to go to Tokyo. Is that the
one Lewis won? Has he win the Japanese one?
Well, yeah, I think he might have, yeah. Yeah, I remember watching that. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, that was Japan. And then he came second maybe at Sydney or something. Yeah. And then he just came third again.
Smashing it.
Yeah, he's good.
So with the park stuff, you're going to give that as good run as you can while you're still young. But then the street is something that you're looking to sort of
100%.
Do as much or level up. Yeah. I'm guessing if you're skating without pegs, though, then you're not really thinking about the streets as much as you could be.
If I ride with pegs, it just makes the bike heavier. Just makes the tricks harder that I'm doing. And it just like, if I do fall off, I land on the pegs, you know. It's just like all these extra things. Mm-hmm. But I got a different wheel set in the car with pegs on it for whenever I want to put it on. Okay. You know, and like I do sometimes. I just don't film on it because I'm not very good yet. Like it took me like an hour to do a pegs hard 180 and I'm like, yeah, it's very hard. It's fun. Yeah. It's very fun.
You just get used to that, the weight of the bike that it is in that,
And it also puts you off as well, doing like your normal tricks. If you, like, even just like this extra new thing on your bike, it just puts you off. Mm-hmm. Like I just got a new frame and new bars and they're completely different to my old ones. And I spent like the whole day doing the same tricks that I usually do, but they were like a little bit off, you know? Mm-hmm. Like I'd do a double whip and I'll be like, oh, I only just caught that, you know? Mm-hmm. It's frustrating, like getting new parts as well, but it's all right.
That's all part of it.
Yeah.
So with a park style bike, are you rolling around with brakes? No brakes? Or what's the story with?
Nah, no brakes.
No brakes.
No, I don't like brakes. They get in the way.
But some people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but I think brakes have just like they're not in it as much as they were. Okay. Like some of the older riders still run them. Mm-hmm. But no, you don't really see too many like younger people running brakes anymore.
So how are you slowing down? You jam your foot in there and...
Yeah, well, when we ride transition, you don't even do that. You just de-pump a ramp. Like you go really fast at a ramp, just de-pump. Mm-hmm. Instead of getting speed, you just lose it. Yep. And you just, you don't really use your foot too often. Okay. If like you're riding around the streets and stuff, obviously you got to slow down hills and stuff, so you put your foot in the wheel. Mm-hmm. But I go through shoes like ridiculously quick and it costs me a lot in shoes too.
No shoe flow?
No, that'd be great.
Where's Louis? Help him out with some Vans fucking Louis model, man.
Well, I've got the other version of his shoe. I think they're called the Peak or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got the black version of those. I just got them.
And Vans make good shoes?
Yeah, Vans make really good shoes. Yeah, they're the bottom of them It's just
sole.
it's really good for like on the pedals.
Yeah.
And I land on the cranks, so it's very good on the cranks too.
So I'm guessing you go through whether it's your right or your left shoe way more than you go through the other side if that's how you're braking.
No, not for me.
Really?
It's literally like it just depends how much my foot moves on the pedal because I've got metal pins in my pedal,
Right.
so it will rip the bottom of my shoe. But yeah, I don't know. It's different every time. Sometimes the whole sole of my shoe just comes out, and like it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Right.
And then like I'll rip a hole in the side of my shoe or something. Hello.
Brief intermission where some dude turned up and thought this was a business that it used to be 15 years ago. It hasn't been that for a long time.
15 years.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
Crazy.
So let's talk about the Melbourne BMX scene. Obviously, there is street, there's park, there's vert, there's freestyle. There's a lot of different aspects to just the BMX scene. How does everyone get along, man? Like, how do you feel like where it's at the moment?
Sort of like the street dudes like stick to their group, which is unfortunate because a lot of the younger park riders love watching the street dudes, and they're probably like their favorite riders. Yep. Even though we don't ride street, we love watching it, and it's fun to ride. Like my favorite rider is a street rider. Like a lot of my mates, their favorite riders street riders. You know, like.
Do you feel there's a disconnect?
Yeah, I do. There is a little bit, yeah. But I guess that's because they're going to ride spots, and we can't ride the spots, you know. Yeah. But
you could. You just haven't.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely could. Like when I've gone and I went to Paran the other day. Like I did a bit.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of stuff there. I went to Fitzroy. I think rode a bit there. I can do that stuff, but I don't post it, so people think you can't do it.
Okay.
But like, there's a lot of riders in Melbourne, like just younger riders. Like, there's not heaps of us, but most of them watch more street stuff than anything else. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no vert riders here. There's none of that. There's like a lot of dirt jump riders, but there's no vert riders here.
Yeah.
Vert's just a lost art, unfortunately.
And it's a ballsy one though as well, man. That's the thing. Like, even talking to Lewis, you're like, fuck. The stuff people like the balls it would take to get air on some 15, 20. Yeah, man, it's like crazy.
I don't want to ride that. I'm good.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't want to ride that. There's a guy in his name's Vince Byron. He was like I think he did a 540 flare like Cork 900 thing in one of the X Games. And I remember watching that. I was like, that is insane. Like that quarter, there is so much that could go wrong. Yeah. And he won it, and he beat Bestwick, which is unreal because Bestwick's like the top. He's like the top of vert, you know. But yeah, I wouldn't ride it. Nah. Not for me. I'm good. I don't even want to drop in the frigging thing, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's a bit big.
Yeah. What's your ceiling on how much vert you'd ride?
I don't know. Like I go to the shed and there's a vert ramp there. I don't even touch it. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. If there's a quarter pipe that's got a good like transition, like it could be like 14 foot. It's a good transition. Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But just a vert ramp, I'm good. Yeah. Not for me.
Because you're out sort of that way near the shed, yeah?
Yeah, I live 5 minutes from there.
But you go all the way to Tottenham?
Yeah, because the shed's it's too small and it's too slippery.
Yeah.
Because it's made out of like this skate light.
Skate light, yeah.
But it's like this really slippery skate light.
You know how expensive that shit is? Man?
Yeah, and I think they ripped down the best part of the skate park and put a street course there for the first Olympics for the skaters to like train on.
Okay.
I don't think any of them went there. And it cost them like 40 grand.
It's in Cranbourne.
Yeah.
Fair. No, it's a long way away from a lot of where people...
I mean, one of the skaters rides for the shed, and he just came back from Paris. Yeah. And he was top 8 in park, which is unreal. Yeah. He's one of my mates.
Renton Miller's always there.
Yeah, Renton's there. He's coaching people all the time, yeah.
Yeah. I asked Renton to do the podcast. A lot of people are like, you got to get Renton. I asked him, and he's like, nah, man, I don't want to do it. I'm like, okay.
No, Renton's a good guy. Yeah, coaches a lot of kids. I see him around a bit. Yeah.
He's older than me, man. He's still ripping.
Yeah, he's still good, yeah. But no, that kid that rides for the shed, and he just went to Paris. His name's Kiefer. Yeah. Yeah, he's unreal. Yeah, unreal skater. Like,
is he the kid who's got like a mini mega in his backyard?
Oh, it's not mini. It's
I've
massive.
Heard someone told me about. There's like a kid that's got a mega in his backyard.
It's like a 28-foot quarter at the back, and it is massive.
That's him, yeah.
Yeah, I've ridden it once. Him and his sister skate like professionally. Yeah, he's so good. Like,
and that's local somewhere. Someone's got a mega in their backyard.
You can pay to go ride it whenever you want, but no one wants to ride it because it's massive, you know? I've ridden it once and I probably won't go back. It's just too big. Yeah. It is way too big. Like, it's just not for me.
The mega ramp, like the physics with it is fucking weird because you watch it and you're like, oh, you're not actually, you're just launching so far, but it's so weird, man.
Yeah, you've got so much time just from going forward and not up.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
thing. It looks like you're not actually going high because the ramp's kind of following. Yeah.
Well, the actual jump is not that scary.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. But the quarter at the end is where you're like, I don't want to touch that. Like, I didn't even air over the coping on it. Wasn't interested. I went up the top of it, looked down, and I was like, I don't even want to be up here. Let me go back down the stairs. And then he was like, slide down, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's interesting when I thought, like, when they first announced before Tokyo that they were going to have the skating at the Olympics, I'm thinking, like, mega ramp.
That would have been unreal.
Well, you know what? When they had BMX first come in, it was like the racing BMX. It wasn't like BMX Park. So I thought they would lead in with like mega ramp type stuff, but that's just never been a thing there.
I think it's just there's no one that wants to do it anymore. No one wants to do it anymore. Like Kiefer's unreal on the mega ramp, but it's just there's not really many bike riders that would ride a mega ramp. Really, like everyone would just rather stick to something a bit smaller.
Yeah,
because that's too big. That's way too big. Yeah. But then there's like one guy, I think he did like this massive one-handed double whip air. His name's Morgan Wade. And it was like, I remember watching that and I was like, what the fuck? I've messed up taking your hand off. Yeah. And he's like 20-something foot in the air, spinning the bike around twice. And I'm like, there's not many people that would do that.
Yeah, that's like a different sort of thing from crazy, like sort of like no fear for your own safety to skill. The level is very different because there takes a lot of skill to do a lot of tricks on vert skating or BMX. But once you start going fucking 50 feet in the air.
Yeah, like R. Willie, you know R. Willie. Like he swapped from scooters to bike and he doesn't have like if you watch him on a skate park, he doesn't have like the normal BMX sort of like style and like bike control. But that guy can pull off whatever trick you'd want him to pull off. And he gets on that mega ramp and, like, goes up that high and looks like he's going to die and then just lands it perfectly. And you're like, what the hell did you just do? You know? It's like, it's crazy, but I've jumped it once, did, like, one trick, and I was like, that's it for me. I'm good. Yeah. It's too big. No way. Yeah. It's not even just, like, it's too dangerous, like, the quarter. You pull out and you go, like, you seen that skater? He pulled out and went all the way to flat.
Jake, what was his name? He was an Aussie dude.
I don't know his name, but his shoes went flying off, and I was like,
Jake Brown.
That could have ended so bad. Like,
I think he skated the next year.
Yeah, I think he got up. He walked away. I was like, that's...
Jake Brown, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and then a guy sat on the coping, you know? Like, there's so much that could go wrong.
No, because at that stage, they hadn't really figured out what the mega ramp was good for. I think... they built it. They were going for the high air scenario, which that wasn't going to last.
No,
cunts are going to eat shit.
Yeah. Matt Hoffman used to air really high, but yeah, Morgan Wade's got a bloody high air on him. That bloke, far out. Yeah, no, it's not for me.
So coming here to Melbourne, obviously there's a community within of the street riders, but is everyone welcoming? Like you were mentioning Paulie before, like he's obviously someone who's been around for a long time and he's got it locked down. Is it cool riding with those sort of dudes?
Yeah, I love riding with Paulie. Like whenever I see him, I'm just like, it's Paulie, you know. But yeah, he's I look up to him a bit. Yeah, I love watching his riding as well. And I got onto Posse Shot from him as well. Like he used it in one of his edits. Yeah, I think it was like 2022. He used it, and I was like, those songs are sick, and I started listening to that, and then Lewis used the songs, and I was like, yeah, I love this, and then I started using the songs, and then all the younger kids started using the songs. It was just sick. But yeah, like seeing riders that have been around for so long, and when you see them at like a jam, you're just like, you're a little bit starstruck, you know, even though you've seen him like plenty of times.
And he's always cool?
Yeah, he's sick, yeah. He's a very loud dude, but I love it. It's so good. Yeah, it's good. He's a good guy.
And so you're going to miss a bit of that if you move to Queensland, though, man, because I know that here, obviously it's different. It's not the scene's not as big, but I'm guessing it's a little bit sort of smaller and a little bit kind of cooler here than it would be, you know, in Queensland.
Yeah, I like it a lot more here, a lot more. I love it here. Like I remember when I moved here, I didn't want to move here, but now I don't want to leave here, you know.
But you have to because you feel like it's the only way to progress.
I feel like I just have to, and I really don't want to. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And if I want to make this dream happen, then I got to do that. But yeah, I don't know.
So when you say the dream, explain to us the dream. What's the dream? What's the dream? Because you're obviously an intelligent kid, so you must have it sort of mapped out a little bit.
Oh, the dream is to ride BMX and not have to have a job. Really, that's everyone's dream.
Yep.
You know, like everyone that rides BMX, they want to do it as a job.
Yep.
Like obviously everyone's like, oh, I want to make the Olympics, I want to make X Games, but no, you want to ride to make a living. You know.
And those things are just stuff that happens on the way to make a living.
Yeah, really. Like if you win X Games, you get a bit of money and stuff like that, but that's not what makes you a living. It's the sponsors, and you got to win contests to get the sponsors, and you got to get to the contest, which is the hard part for me at the moment. But it's just stepping stones, really. But it's I'm not going to make it if I don't move there. I don't reckon, because I've tried. I've really tried. Like I've been trying here. I've been putting out posts all the time, learning new stuff, like trying so hard, and it's just not going my way. It's just unfortunate.
And you think that just the change of geographical change, Queensland, more people around, more people pushing you, foam pits, more industry, that'll be the difference?
Hopefully. I really hope so, yeah. Because I want to make this like a reality, you know? Like I want this really bad. And I've been through I'm only 19, but I've been through a lot of injuries that I could have just went, I don't want to do this anymore, you know? I could have just went and got a full-time job. I'd be making money, paying for everything I want. But I've got to I want to stick with this and I want to do this and I'm trying so hard to do it. And it's just, I've just got to make a change, you know, unfortunately.
Man, I think it speaks volumes of you that you're going to move out of the city that you love. You're going to go somewhere totally different to keep the dream alive, man. And that's very respectable.
Well, it's good that I've got friends there, but I'm leaving my dad behind, which sucks.
But he likes surfing. There's plenty of surf. There's not much surf here, man.
No, I know, but he's got reasons to stay here. His job's one of them, but yeah, it's unfortunate. But my girlfriend's coming with me, so that'll be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll meet some other crew, and it sounds like you need some other people on your page, man, to push you and sort of send you to that next level.
Yeah, well, I'm trying my best, but it's just, I think it's time. I really even want to move, but it's time, I think, yeah. It sounds like such a big deal. Like, to me it is, but to most people it would just be like, oh, he's just moving. But to me it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just, I've got my own little group here that I love riding with. I've got, like, Ramp Fest, like, my favourite skate park. I've got this routine that I've got going on, and it's just all just going to change because I want this, you know. But yeah,
got to follow your heart, man. And like you said, you've got a girlfriend who's going with you, so that's a good start too.
Yeah, and a little sausage dog that's a pain in the ass, but he's all right. He's all right. He's good.
Man, well, tell us just before we wrap it up, if people want to reach out to you, if people want to work with you, if people want to flow you some product or talk about getting you on a team or whatever, how do they find you, dude?
Just on Instagram, C Wilson BMX. Just message me on there. Hopefully I'll get back to you. I will. But, yeah, sometimes it would be bad with the messages, but I'll be all right.
Man, you've got no excuse. You're young. You should be all across this social stuff.
I don't know. I just, go on there and I scroll and then I like a few things and I forget to message people and then, I'm just I don't know.
That's good because you're not caught up in the social stuff. You're doing your thing, and the socials is an avenue for you to put that out there, and that's the right way to think of it.
Socials is bad sometimes. Man. I used to watch a lot of it and just be putting myself down because these other people are doing things, and I'm like, how are they doing that? I can't, you know. But I think just not watching it as much is helping me a bit.
For sure. I think in this day and age, in 2024, social media is a necessary evil, but you can't let it control you. And that's what's sick about doing these podcasts. We haven't looked at our fucking socials for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's good. You just talk to someone, you have a chat, you're like, fuck, we'll learn stuff. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it's good. I love it. Yeah, it's good.
All right, man. Thanks for coming in. You've been the youngest guest we've ever had, and I'd really like to get you in soon when you come back and see how the whole trip to Queensland's going and how you've progressed and where you're at, man.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be keen on that for sure.
Thanks for coming, dude.
All good. Thank you.
Cheers.
3,000.